Welcome back to the HVAC Accelerated Success Program. When designing aircraft, the most significant limiting factor to speed is drag. As the aircraft speed increases, so does the amount of drag, but at a multiplicative effect. If the speed were to double, the drag would increase by 4 times. This is the biggest restraint when it comes to aircraft speed. In an HVAC business, the biggest restraint is not solely competition with other HVAC companies in your area, but the competition for available dollars. By making sure you offer to finance every sale, offering a low payment option and a no payment option on every proposal, this will reduce your drag and help to increase the ability for your company to fly faster than ever before. In this session, we will examine how each company is using financing. We will interview CSRs, technicians, and salespeople to find out how they use financing, along with things that may be preventing them from using financing today. When used correctly, financing is one of the most effective ways to reduce drag in your company, increasing both closing percentage and dollar average, having the same multiplicative effect on your company's performance.
What made you decide to apply for the accelerator program?
Mr. Brad Altone said this would be a really good fit for you and your business, and he hadn't led me wrong yet, so I instantly signed up, and he's like, you got to do this now, you got to do it now. And it's been a blessing, every bit of it. Everybody that's been involved has been great. Every trade, every different type of vendor that we've worked with has been so helpful, gone above and beyond for anything that we've needed to do. We're really happy, and it's made a big change already in myself. It's building a lot of development in me as a leader and as a better HVAC professional. Just trying to take everything in and learn every day and do all I can. Loving it.
You know, you're going to be working with about 6 different vendors or 6 different, coaches. And what do you hope to get out of it at the end of the however many months, 6-7 month period this goes? What do you hope to get out of it?
I hope to really develop and hopefully redefine the standard of service, and to really implement everything that I've learned, which is above and beyond what we've executed before. We're getting better for everything that we've worked with. Every coach that we've worked with has increased our capacity, increased our quality, our value, and just overall, as a whole, as a business, something that you can be a little bit more proud of. And I think that, as a business owner, that is my end game. I want to wake up every day and be proud of everybody on my team, every service that was rendered, every check that was received. I hope it was earned and that customer appreciated the value that they wrote that check for.
As a Goodman TSM, so you heard about this obviously through the Goodman network. And what do you think that if you were to say, when you were talking to Kevin about his end game, what do you expect at the very end? Do you think it would, how this is going to help his business, increase his sales, or increase his efficiency? What do you think that the program is going to be able to do for him? And what would you say to others who are thinking about doing it in the future?
I mean, it's really looking at the big picture of the dealer that you're looking into to enter this program, and it's not for everybody, of course, but Kevin and Peggy have an ambition that stands out in our industry, that it speaks for themselves. That when you throw their hat into a program like this, that they're going to succeed because they're hungry, they're passionate to grow, they're passionate to succeed. Failure is not an option. So I took that into consideration. I was like, hey, listen, I want to be part of this program. I want Kevin and Top Tech to be part of this program. And I know that with their ambition and motivation to succeed, and the structure that the coaches for this program bring to the table to help build their company overall, it's going to be educational for not just them, but for myself. So at the end game, I think they're going to succeed. I think they're going to grow rapidly in a healthy fashion to be able to succeed and at the end game, be able to sell their company or move it down the family chain if they choose to do so.
It started in 2012 when Kevin started it. He's been doing it since he was 15 with his stepdad. Kind of showed him all the stuff needed to do the HVAC. And I got involved when we got married because Kevin kept trying to reel me in, and I was very reluctant because I didn't want to bring the business in to our home. So I was very reluctant to jump in, but he finally reeled me in. And once I got in, I got really excited. And then Kevin decided that we both decided we wanted to get into the residential world, even though we knew that it was going to be really tough, with all the competition we have. But, like Brad said, failure is not an option, and we're ambitious. We're definitely hungry, and we're ready to do this and just kick this out of the ballpark for sure.
I really like the fact that, and I think that, what really hit the nail on the head with this program for us is that when COVID hit, restaurants were closed. All I could think about was like, everybody's at home, everybody's, doing their thing at their houses. And, I really want to learn how to be a really good residential HVAC guy. And, this is really honing us in to where we can actually successfully do that and appease the residential consumer, which is a lot more particular than, commercial clients. I know it mechanically, I know how to fix it and stuff, but there's just so much on the other end of the business, and there's so much more than that. And I was telling Peggy earlier, I was like, there's probably too many HVAC owners out there, and I might have been one of them. It takes a lot to humble yourself as an owner of a company and to sit back and take all this in. It's a humbling experience, and I love it. I'm trying to take everything that I'm learning and basically, grow from it, not take offense to it, but use it to better myself, better my business. And I think if you do come into a program like this, you've got to be open-minded, and you really got to sit back and listen to people that are smarter than you and just take it in. And, we're really growing from it. I mean, our product line is starting to improve. Our delivery is starting to improve, and we're just still in the middle of it. The website's looking great. We're starting to get financing options available. And I think that we're kind of like a slingshot getting ready to pop. And we're about pulled back as far as we want to go. And we're going to catapult forward. It's going to be great.
We had already talked about it, but then when COVID hit, we had to do it. We had no choice because, like he said, all of our commercial clients were closed, the restaurants, the retail stores, everything. So we had to go where everybody else was, and that was at home. And so we had to learn to sell equipment over the phone, through the computer, doing the best we could. And the accelerated program couldn't have come at a better time, for sure.
Okay, so one of the best things I think about this, and coming from a business owner, and the name of this program, Accelerated Success Program, it's a really great name. And I think that it was really well thought out, because when you start taking on all these different things and all these different mechanisms that take the machine of your business, and you take all that and you try to implement it as a business owner, when you don't know all these things, it's very difficult. So we've had a hard time trying to implement all this stuff into our program, and now it's almost becoming automated from what I'm seeing through this. It really doesn't take a lot of thought. So with the financing for the equipment on the website, the way the website's put together, it's brilliant. You can get a quote on the website right there. You can get your financing right there. And we've never thought of offering financing to our commercial customers before, but we're trying to implement that now. But trying to explain it to them is a whole different animal, to make them understand it, to make your techs understand how to offer it. So the implementation is one of my favorite parts about this Accelerated Success Program. Is it because Brad's like, man, you got to get this, you got to do that, you've got to get this set up. And I was like, I don't know how to do all that, man. And this program, it's put it all together for me. It really has.
It's the whole overall assistance and implementation. And that's the key part of this whole program is the help to implement the processes that Kevin and Peggy already know that they need. It's the implementation that this program is going to pay back tenfold.
as a finance guy and as somebody who's representing lenders that are going to help you to make your job easier, please stop taking receivables. You should never, let the banks take that risk. That's what we have lenders for now. And we also have commercial solutions. I know we've discussed that before. So let me ask you, so with the financing part, as far as, getting into the add-on replacement and the commercial replacement, do you have any concerns about that? Is there any, as far as, it's a whole new thing now, and all of a sudden, now you're going to be also a financial specialist or a little bit of a loan specialist, and we'll certainly help you get through that and teach you that. But do you have any concerns about that?
Not anymore. I think that what we went through and the way it's set up now, like just go to the website and apply, and then everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. We went through a lot of different programs, and we chose a few different ones to kind of focus on and have those laser focused in sales and processes. We're obviously trying to get a lot more lead generation coming in so we can process more sales quotes. And,
sure.
You got to build it before they will come, right? And
absolutely.
I think we built it very well. The website's just amazing. Like what y'all done with the financing is amazing.
Also,
and everybody did with the sales system is so great. Power Selling Pros is helping inside our house. Like they're helping us develop people that are great to be even better. It's just great. NCI is making me a smarter technician. It's really cool. So yeah, I love it.
I was just going to say, EGIA brought us Interbank, and Interbank has also been great and very helpful. And they have the app that is very easy to go through. So it's just something that you can literally hand over to the customer, and they're not giving us the information. They can just go through the app, and so it's definitely easier. And there's no concern there. The only thing hindering us is, like Kevin said, lead generation. We need more people, and I know that will come.
Fantastic. Yes, that sounds great, because that's especially in the age of COVID, when somebody's calling you at or even looking at your website at 2 o'clock in the morning, because in my experience, furnaces that are air conditioners, no matter what the season is, they break down at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock. They don't break down at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you're there. They always break down at the middle of the night. Somebody can go on your website and apply for a loan and get approved while you're still sleeping. That's great. Or you can direct it to them. Just say, hey, go to our website here, Top Tech Mechanical, and go ahead and apply for the loan. And it's really, really simple for the customer. And I think Brad will attest that, financing is the one thing that probably the least expensive or the program you can implement that doesn't cost you anything, because you're not hiring a tech, you're not buying a new van, but it can increase your sales like you have an extra 2 or 3 guys there. You know what I'm saying? Because people
can't grow without financing. You can't sell high efficiency without financing. You can't run a business without financing. I will literally, stop a partnership with a dealer if they refuse to offer financing, because at the end of the day, that means you're just a 14th-year dealer. And that's no value for me to bring to my dealer or for the consumer. So financing is the number one, and Kevin will tell you this. I'm like, the number one thing you need to look at first and foremost is financing.
From the very start of it, did you guys embrace financing and know financing is what was the thing that was going to help you grow and get you grow, as opposed to just taking cash or checks? Have you been sold on financing from the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we learned was the fact that the power of leverage, right? The power of leverage and how important it is. Even in the pandemic, one of the things that we noticed was the people that have on a certain, and we call it the gold belt in our state, in our city. We have a gold belt, and that's where the majority of the incomes happens to lie. Well, we noticed right away that even that belt was still leveraging more than the rest. Why? Because they understand the power of leveraging somebody else's money. We coach, we teach all of our customers, right? That it's not, in our demographics, right here in the city, is sometimes credit is used upon as a detriment. Well, you don't do that because, right? My parents come from a generation that, the money under the mattress, right? Thing, and they don't know anybody. Well, this is different now, right? So we were sold on it, and I'll share with you, 94 to 96% of all our new residential installations are financed. So
Awesome. Well, you know what? That's fantastic. Would you agree that without being 94 to 95% financing, you wouldn't have grown that much if you're just taking
absolutely.
cash checks?
And not just that, but also my average tickets are higher. We're talking about the difference between $92 and $115. So the difference between, you know, our 14 SEER entry level to our, you know, 16 SEER 2-stage.
What programs do you find most popular that are the best to sell or that the customers want?
Well, one of the things we found here is we have of course, no interest, no payments, right? No interest, no payments we have them for 3 months, we have them for 6 months, we also have them for 12 months. So we have the ability to give a customer a new system and not make a payment for 12 months. And that's been a solid program for us, because now they can, in essence, ride through everything that's going on right now and then make a payment in the future. That's been that. The zero interest have been, but we may mostly focus on payments. That's what we talk about versus the total dollar amount of the investment. We rarely do we ever bring that up. So that's what we do.
So are you offering a low payment by buying down the rate a little bit and stretching out the terms? Is that how you do it?
Absolutely, yes.
So let me ask you this. So when you buy down the rate, and you're being charged a dealer fee, correct?
Yes.
Tell me your theory or your strategy on dealer fees, because a lot of dealers out there just refuse to buy them down. They do not want to pay fees, but you're telling me that you do it and it works. But tell me, share with everybody why you've embraced that fact.
Well, how do I say this? When you buy a car, you're paying a fee, right? Whether you like it or not, you're gonna pay the finance fee. It is how we do business, in a sense that you have to understand, and this goes back to, you know, the difference of knowing how add-on replacement works and how it doesn't. The ability to, you have to know the cost. So each plan has a different cost to it. We have a predetermined number of gross margins we have to hit to keep the doors open and closed. What we do is we take a look at what plans we offer, because we keep it simple. We're blessed to work with people that believe what we believe, and we only have simplicity. We have 4 plans, 4 systems, 4 ways, that's it. Why? Because we want to keep everybody, make it as simple as possible for the customer, the consumer, and our technicians and our sales staff to understand. So what we do, back to the question, is we actually take a look at what each individual one of our plans costs. If it's a fee of 1%, 2%, 6%, 12%, right? We basically take it and make sure that it's covered by and it makes sense for the customer. So in essence, for us, it's a win-win, because the customer gets a brand new air conditioning system, and for us, we cover our overhead and also maintain our margins where we need to be. So does that make sense a little bit?
Oh no, that makes, you know, you're preaching to the choir here, and I just hope a lot of people see this and understand how you can have a business that you started 2 years ago, growing to 1.6 and 1.8 million a year. You're doing it through financing, and of course, there's a lot of other reasons why it happens. Don't get me wrong. Of course, your reputation's solid. You do good work. There's a lot of other things, but financing is certainly at least one of the legs on that stool, and also that you're doing it correctly. A lot of contractors out there will say they have financing and they wait for the customers to ask. But since you're financing 95%, I'm assuming that your salespeople are offering it like it's in their DNA. They don't have a choice in your organization not to offer it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's one of the things that we have to do. We actually, in our company, it's a benefit. It has to. We believe in the 3 W's. So for us, the customer has to win. It has to be the right thing for the customer. It has to be the right thing for the employee, right? And then lastly, it'll be the right thing for the company. So what we always teach and instill on anybody that approaches or represents our name is that it has to be the right thing for the customer. We don't want to make sure that we don't pressure anybody and so on. But I can tell you that financing, the difference between now having $10,000 in your pocket and having $100 monthly payment, the difference is if something does happen. you still have $9,990 in your pocket in a brand new air conditioner versus 100. And it is a mentality that we have to teach.
What I've been saying since COVID is that, even people with money, and obviously that you have people that pay in cash sometimes or write you a check, but those people now are using financing because they want to keep their powder dry. They don't know what's coming around the corner with COVID. They don't know when the next layoff's coming. They don't know when the next illness is coming, where they might have to pay a lot for their deductibles and their health insurance, whatever the case is. They can be looking at a huge medical bill. So people now, even if the ones who have money are financing, okay? And obviously the ones who are struggling are going to finance also because they're a payment buyer. So I found that to be very true, that people are financing more now than ever before.
Correct. Yes, and that's what we're finding here, exactly. The people that wouldn't leverage before are leveraging now, and the people that couldn't afford it before are still leveraging. So yes, no, you're absolutely.
Yes. You mentioned that your ticket sales, your average tickets are higher. Is that due to more IAQ, or you're able to sell more service agreements, warranties, or all of the above with your financing?
Yes and yes. One of the things that we do is Pioneer Air. We're a new frontier in clean air. That's who we are. So from the beginning, we understood the importance of indoor air quality. With all our systems, we put in a brand new MERV 11 filtration system, 24 old UVs, and so on. We're able to now relate to where we've never been able to relate before.
Tell me a little bit about your company, Natalie. A little bit, maybe how long you've been there, and maybe a little of your background too, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, my parents own the company, so
Okay.
Let's see. I came on, I want to say 2 years ago now.
Nice, and it's a good business too. So you're in a good place.
Oh yeah. Oh, my dad's been doing this for 45 years, since he was a child himself. So my dad's been doing this forever. My grandfather was in this line of work, so it's a definitely family thing.
It's our job to work with them and negotiate with them to get you the best programs, and then partner with you to get you into the right lender, number one, and then how to use the right loan programs to serve your customers and ultimately sell more jobs. So that's what the Finance Clearinghouse does, and that's our purpose in this whole journey that you're going down with the Accelerator program. Do you folks like the commercial better than the residential, or is it just something that's sort of been the driver of your business?
We like to have commercial because it's something that it is set. It's, we get them on a quarterly maintenance contract, and, for a 2-year period time frame, or however long they want to go with it. And then, so we know that we've got that set in stone pretty much. So we do like that factor of it. But there's no, we like to do commercial because of this or that. It's just kind of, it's something that we know is going to be set in stone. Something's going to be coming up, something to do.
Do you have any idea what percentage of your replacement sales are financed? If you had to guess.
We haven't been doing quite a lot of financing. It's just kind of something, either it's clients, either they have the money or they don't, anyhow, I would probably say about 10%.
Do you know which loans you're offering the customers off that rate sheet?
Usually everybody that I've had recently in the past, they like to do a 5-year. Their interest rate is a 6.49.
Got it. Yep. We have that program in our clearinghouse, so I'm just trying to get some information so that I can understand what you're doing. What are the things that, if you had to think about your role in the company and what the company's going to look like this year, next year, 5 years down the road, and then maybe the same thing with your mom and dad, what would be those things that are either your pain points or maybe keep you up at night?
I wish that I had an easier way to integrate everything. We need to, one of the things that I think that our company needs the most of is a lot of marketing. I can always use more training. We can always use more training and knowledge and things like that. Every year, new things come out. you know, I'm not a technician myself, so if I ever get asked a question about how this or that works, that's always kind of like, oh gosh, you know. But I would like to see, you know, I would like to see the company start booming more. I want to see more. My parents, they want to retire in the next 5 years, and I want to get the company to a good standpoint in my eyes, very profitable.
Yeah, and we can certainly talk about some of the things that we've seen in the industry that would help you with that. In the the short haul during the accelerator program, obviously it's designed to help you, make you more efficient, help you accomplish the integration. Eric's and my job are really to help you focus on sales process, financing, profitability, using financing strategically. You know, there's an old adage that if you can put more stuff on the same truck and deliver it to the same customer, that truck costs you the same amount of money to drive it from point A to point B, but all the stuff in it makes you more money. Well, part of what we will help you do is, how do we get more out of each one of those leads? Is it a price increase? Is it more indoor air quality? Is it higher efficiency equipment, even though you're doing a good job with the 16? There's a lot of little things that we can help you envision, and your family envision, with that I think will help you just grow your business. And you know, look, you want to expand, you know, it takes money to expand, because that's an additional investment. So those are some of the things that which is why I like to close with, what are your pain points and your goals, because those are the things that we'll try to make sure that we align our strategic conversations with you going forward.
Okay.
What are your number one or a few obstacles that you actually encounter when you're using financing?
There's not a whole lot of obstacles. It's more that sometimes people are a little weary to take financing from a heating and air company. You know, they're like, well, you know, am I going to get qualified? You know, or are you guys good for it? What kind of equipment am I getting? You know, and then they're always concerned about how much per month. And
Well, sure, yeah, that, you know what, you make a good point, because you know they're used to dealing with their banks for financing, but you know, more and more, obviously, people are going to their furniture store and financing, and going to their phone store and financing. So you know, that's certainly turning. You know, has there been a little bit of an education for you in that regard?
yeah, for me, sure, you know, learning where, you know, how to ask properly the customer, say, hey, you know, we do offer finance because this is a big hit. And then we also find some customers that are like, well, we can't quite afford the nicer system, we'd like it. And, you know, and then we can approach them with the financing very easily, so they can upgrade into a nicer system.
That is so true. That is perfect. I have contractors calling me weekly saying, listen, I've lost 3 deals this week to our competitors, so and so, because they're offering financing, and darn it, I'm not going to lose any more. You know, so yes, it's a really, really good tool to have in your back pocket. I always tell people that no matter what city you're in, and you know, when you're just starting out, you guys been in the business 2 years, but there's somebody in the Salt Lake area. There's some big monster out there of a contractor, of a HVAC. The guy's doing millions of dollars a month in business, and you know, that's what you aspire to. But they didn't get there by taking cash and checks and money orders and credit cards. You know what I mean? They got there by financing. They got there by making their payments affordable to the masses, and that's what all contractors need to do. Let me ask you this: on the ways to offer financing, do you have is your website set up where you have a button on there that they can offer that through?
Yes. Yeah, there is a button that says we do offer financing, and then if they go in there, it tells them, you know, what specials or what rates are available.
Wow, that's fantastic. Let me tell you, that's a lesson to be learned by all contractors too. if you do have a website, and you really should, if you and we've certainly done a lot of talking about websites on this program. But when you have that button on there, can you imagine that you just say, here, go fill out this form, go fill out our financing, we get you approved. You don't necessarily have to be there at the house, especially the day of COVID. You don't have to share your tablet with them to have them fill it out. They could do it in the privacy of their own home. They could do it at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's when furnaces break.
Yep.
They don't break at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's always 2 o'clock in the morning when, and all of a sudden they have an emergency and a real panic situation because their pipes could freeze and now they're cold. They got to get up and go to work. They're going to take a hot shower, maybe, who knows, or a cold shower, who knows what's happening. But that's a really, really good tool to have in your toolbox, is that link on there. As far as your other selling techniques, do you use a good, better, best, or have you come across that where you offer a couple of different products, or are you still just out, are you still just kind of getting into it?
We are offering it more and more. People like to see the good, better, best. They want to know their options. And then they also like to see it compared to the finance, because they can go, well, we can get a better one for $20, $30 more a month. For the customer, it's good that they can see all three options, and then all three payment options on one page for them.
What kind of financing do you use, or do you use it often, or how much do you use it? Is it an integral part of your business?
Yeah, it's an essential part of our business. I want to say most of our sales, or about anywhere from 70 to 85%, we finance externally.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Are you selling higher SEER units?
It's going to be a combination of 14 and 16 with a more 14. So we've been leaning to sell a little bit more 16, but the bulk of our sales are in the 14 SEER category.
Okay. And so now, are you aware that with the 16 SEERs, you get a rebate on your financing charges? Are you taking advantage of that?
Yeah, we're slowly taking advantage of that. I think whenever we had our conversations earlier this year, after you guys let us know about that program, that's something that we've been leveraging a little bit more.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. If you could have one thing that would help your business for right now from us, what would it be?
Basically, very competitive rates for our customers. So most of our customers that do decide to go with a finance option, they're looking for a very good payment factor, a short term as well, and then obviously a very low interest rate associated with it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, because we have a lot of different lenders and different programs that we can set you up.
Our main financing options is definitely Green Sky. So that's
right.
That's our first look option. And our second look option, actually, no, not second look option. The other one that we use as a first look option is also Enerbank.
Right.
And I think right now with Green Sky, we're part of their, I want to say it's their waterfall program.
Yeah, with Foundation.
Where basically they offer us that second look option through Foundation, and I think more. So that's something else that we're looking for right now. A large part of our customer base is they only have tax ID numbers, and I think right now our only lender that can approve them is Synchrony.
All right, so that's a great question, and I got a good answer for you, Pedro. We do have somebody on our platform as a third look lender that will help that, and it's also waterfalled with Green Sky. They're called Mycroft, okay? And then Mycroft, they're waterfalled with Green Sky also. So if you use Green Sky, then it would waterfall through Foundation and Mycroft. Mycroft is a third look lender, and they will take an ITIN number, okay? And then you could also qualify for the rebates with them. So you wouldn't have to go outside the EGIA platform in order to get those, to customers who don't have Social Security numbers, who use ITIN numbers. Do you want to share maybe with some other dealers, or, since this is going to be broadcast, do you want to share, how did you come to be so convinced on financing? Because let me tell you, a lot of companies really aren't. And, how long have you been in business?
So we've been in business actually about a year.
So you've been in business a year, and you've started out already with the express purpose of financing from the get-go. Is that correct?
Correct. And the thing is, we carry a lot of momentum when we started because my dad, he's the general manager of the company. He came from another company where he had 20 years of experience managing that company as well. So he was able to kind of carry a lot of that momentum and knowledge. And obviously, he was able to bring a large part of his team over into Max Comfort. So we weren't learning from the very get-go. We had all this experience and we recognized the value in offering our client options. And those options include financing.
Many of the dealers who are watching this aren't either convinced or they don't use it every time. What would your sales be like if you didn't offer financing? If you just took cash or check or credit cards, you think it'd be half of what they are now?
They'll be like this: we'll call you back tomorrow.
Right.
Basically, it's a way on how we can get into the door, and it's a way on how we can close the business right there. What makes us competitive is obviously having good prices, good customer service, but then
absolutely
is giving the customer enough flexible options to basically get into the system that they want. And that really kind of complements the operational size of our company, because we really stand by about selling you the product today and then installing tomorrow.
So when you hire a salesperson, you make sure that they are sold on financing too. Is that correct?
Not only sold, but they're also well educated on how to explain that to the customer.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. That puts you so far ahead, because it's one of the easiest things you could do. When I say easy, you don't have to buy another truck. You don't have to hire another person. You can get a lot more sales per person when you're using financing as opposed to, not using it. If you walk into a house and you look at this nice house, you think, oh, this guy's going to write me a check or he's got a credit card. You just never know. And when you offer financing, you can also upsell a little easier. You can do a higher SEER unit. You can add on some IAQ, because we're still talking about payments. Even if it's the same as cash deal, that they have the cash, but they're going to say, you know what, I'll wait for this COVID thing to wait for the vaccinations, because I don't want to part with my money now. I don't know if I'm going to get laid off or whatever the case is. They're going to take a loan now, but you're still able to upsell that deal. Do you find that as being true?
That's very true. And the other thing, like, let's say those customers that are, we have a little bit of a back and forth, because some customers do want to pay with credit card, but then they also realize that credit card carries a higher APR. And a lot of the options that we offer are actually a lower interest rate than their credit card. So I'm like, all right, if you're going to use your credit card, or if you're really set on using it, let you consider that you're actually going to be able to finance it through a third party with a lower interest rate.
Talking about when a technician is in the home and they're looking at an opportunity and trying to determine what the best practice is for them. And a lot of your technicians are somewhat hesitant in taking that repair opportunity and sales call, and really advising the customer, the homeowner, to flip it from a repair over to a replacement. The object of this is clearly, making money, right? I mean, you want to make money. The company needs to make money. Our philosophy at EGIA is show you, again, best practices that will help you with closing rate, because the customer is going to shop in your HVAC store. I could give you some benchmarks on closing rates, but we definitely see lifts for those dealers that are measuring closing rates, 15 to 20% or higher. I can tell you to benchmark, if you want to set some benchmarks for your own close rates. Some good numbers are if it's a marketed lead, where maybe just, the phone rang off of an ad that you were running or off of your website. You should set a standard for yourself, Tony, of a 50% close rate. Think about this from the perspective of the customer. Tony, going back to that challenge you've got, my friend, 39% of US homeowners have zero money in their savings account. So to put that in perspective for you, 4 out of 10 clients that you go see have no money in their savings account, but yet you guys are trying to to propose a solution to a client that's going to be somewhere between $6,000 and $20,000 typically, right? So I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to make sure that you understand that you really don't know what you have sitting across the kitchen table. And it's Eric's and mine and the EGIA's team job to set you up so that you can overcome this type of situation. Let's take the wheel a little bit further, okay? I'm going to take that $0 and the less than 1,000, I'm going to add them together, and that adds up to 57%. When you combine these, now we have 57%, or almost 6 out of 10 U.S. homeowners that have less than $1,000. And just so that I'm not beating a dead horse, let's go up to about 3 o'clock on the wheel. And if you add all of these categories together, it's 69%, or 7 out of 10 clients that are sitting across that kitchen table, sitting across the coffee table, or you're doing a Skype call with to do that presentation. 69% of them don't have $5,000 in the bank. So you can see the power of offering financing as a payment solution to your customer, and how powerful of a tool that can be, both for you, and it can really change the tone of the conversation with the customer, where you're not forcing them to ask for it. Because let me promise you this, less than 10% of homeowners will ask you if you offer financing. They will just give you one of the magical objections, and you'll leave and pray to God that they call you back or you can reach them.
We're really excited to be part of the Accelerator series here at EGIA. My name is Matthew Bratsis. I'm the Vice President of Contractor Services, and I'm joined by Eric Goody, who you're going to see consistently throughout this episode and in future episodes. Just to give you a little overall view of EGIA, we're a nonprofit that's been around since 1931. Our nonprofit charter is around the advancement of energy efficient equipment, and we really are dedicated towards working with dealers on learning how to utilize finance in order to make their business more profitable, right? Teach them how to put the programs that contractors and customers are asking for. It's our job to help them learn how to use finance to make themselves more profitable, and in exchange, as well as advancement of energy efficient equipment. So our nonprofit charter is really dedicated towards helping the contractors learn how to use finance so that they can better themselves. Now, there's a lot of benefits to working with EGIA as well. Eric, you want to get into some of those?
Absolutely. Thank you, Matthew. Thanks, Ben. You know, one of the main things that we do here at EGIA is we offer you as a contractor, if you're a TSM, your contractors, the availability to access multiple lenders. A lot of manufacturers, they will kind of tie you into one lender. But at Goodman and Manedeikin, what they do is they contract with us, and then we go out and do all the hard work. We go out and pound the pavements. We negotiate the best deals for you guys. Well, we have multiple lenders that we set up with. We have first looks, we have second looks, and we have third looks. All that combined gives you the availability to get about roughly a 90% approval ratio on your deals. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that we take indemnification. As a nonprofit organization, we can bear some of the risk for your contractors. And what that means is a lot of your competitors, their finance companies will not take some of your dealers that are either smaller, or if you've only been in business for a little while, one or the other, or maybe both. They have pretty strict guidelines, okay? But with our negotiation with our lenders, we will allow, if you've been in business just for a few months, a couple of months, we'll make sure that we have a platform for you. There's almost no or very few lenders that we cannot place somewhere along our platform, okay? Next is that we offer training. A training for your dealers, training for your TSMs, for anybody in your network, for your salespeople, for your technicians. We'll do it all. We'll make sure that they're trained on offering finance to all your customers to make sure that they are hopefully to be ninjas in it. Okay, hopefully that they'll be very, very familiar with it. But we'll make sure that we'll give you a good one-on-one service to make sure that everybody in your company who deals with financing is very familiar, very comfortable with it. Okay. Now, remember, we do all this at no cost. At no time as a contractor will you be required to pay EGIA for any of our services, zero. In the financing section, this is all done for the betterment of the HVAC industry, okay? And finally, what we do is for Goodman, Amana, Daikin, we run their rebate program, okay? So if you're signed up with an EGIA lender, you will have availability or access to those valuable Goodman, Amana, Daikin rebates, okay? They're very valuable. You can put thousands of dollars into your pocket or into your bank account every month, all right? So it's a very important thing, but only through EGIA will you be able to take advantage of those rebates. Matthew?
Excellent, Eric. And that's a real key point to make sure people understand is we are the financing arm of Goodman, Amana, Daikin, which means if you want to give access to those buy downs and make those costs less expensive, you've got to work with EGIA. But the good thing is we have those, as Eric was stating, we have those multiple lender solutions. One of the things that we do the most is that we're very agnostic in our approach towards getting you set up with the right lender. We want to do a full interview with you, get an understanding of how you run your business, and make sure we set you up with success.